Hi everyone, this is Karak, Jeremy Penter to my financial advisor, and petulant cancerous shitbird to my ex-wife. I'm here with another stirring, emotional, and down-to-earth review for a game. Today's sacrificial lamb, led with promises of green grass and a long life at the same farm that all our childhood family dogs went to die at, is Lifeless Planet. A factual lie in the title? Perhaps, but let's see for ourselves, shall we? Lifeless Planet is developed by Stage 2 Studios and is an adventure platformer where you play nameless pilot generic P no one as you try to figure out what the fuck is going on throughout the entire game. You blast off, go through warp, land on a planet that looks like Nevada or Charlie Sheen's MRI, and you begin. That's about it. So did the developer hit the nail on the head, eliciting a mysterious and thought-provoking game that brings back memories of the novel Sphere or 2001 and Moon? Or did it leave me on a cold, dead planet, buried alive, buried alive? Strap in your cats, engage the 3-monkey drive, put the engines in full throttle, let's launch this bitch. Graphics are up first because I wasn't struck blind by genetic disease. Well, it's rocky, and there's some muddy textures, so that makes the rock look more rocky, and you quickly find out the lifeless planet may not be so lifeless because within the first 5 minutes you find what looks like a couple of houses picked up by a giant and thrown into the ground in neat rows that are spaced out amongst some more rocks. There's sand, which looks dirty and sandy and reminds me of sand, and there are some buildings and pipes, and they look all building-y and pipey. Your own character has a nice overall sheen to him as you explore the entire world from within the dirty and probably shit-stained spacesuit you call home throughout the entire game. However, there is a somewhat nice depth of field going on, and the developer placed the rocks and sand and pipes and houses in places that elicit an overall feel of despair and mystery, but I can't say that this looks good. It fits its overall aesthetic if you're going for, say, a lifeless planet. This isn't lifeless because buildings, from what I understand, you need fucking people to build them. I'm just guessing here. I've never built a house because maybe they crop out of nowhere like Hank Moody's kids in Californication. There are a couple impressive sights and sounds, and the stark look of the game can come back and really surprise you at times, with a beautiful vista one moment and what looks like a pile of fossilized goat shit for the rock the next. All the while, the glistening face mask of your spacesuit hides your character's what the fuck look on his face throughout the entire game. Overall, it's okay, nothing really special. Up next is sound, music, and voice. Sound is good, actually, and the spectrum of sounds don't fall over one another, nor do they become bothersome, but let's be honest, the sounds of footsteps and a door opening once every hour or so isn't going to be all that hard to do. There's a good deal of ambient sound overall, and that is done well with a couple real good surprises here and there to add atmosphere. Music. You know, I'm not so sure. It did fit with an ambient overall feel to it, but in all honesty, some of it sounded a bit amateurish. Not bad, just sort of muddy, like whenever Kirk Hammett picks up a guitar, or what you expect goes on between the ears of Joan Rivers whenever she forgets her meds. Lots of synth and lots of transitions, but like my dick, it works when it works, and when it doesn't, it just seems to bang into things and basically be in the way. That's how the music was. Voice. I actually liked it. The astronaut, Mr. Gennaro Generickson, has a great sound to him, and the voices that play through audio records and so forth later in the game all fit really well, and it lends a very authentic and grounded feel to the game and offsets a bit of the issues with music. Up next is gameplay. So you blast off, land on a planet, and begin looking for your crew in third-person fashion. Quickly, you run through a non-tutorial tutorials, and you're on your way. During your adventures, you'll use a special jump pack and some other tools to perform environmental and platforming puzzles as you try to figure out just what the fuck is going on by listening to yourself talk like a damn crazy person, and handy-dandy audio logs left out for you to notice instantly and grab. However, the puzzles themselves are rather rote. In fact, the game is as linear as a drive through the desert, which is suitable as this planet looks like one, and you won't be really exploring off the beaten path because there's almost no exploring. There's just basically forward movement to tell a story. I don't mind that, as the atmosphere, despite some of the issues mentioned prior, interested me enough to keep me playing. As you piece things together, one thing you notice is that there really is nothing new added to the game after a fairly short time. You have your tools, and you move them forward. This is almost like a 2D scroller in how it handles things and gameplay. So when it comes to gameplay, you really need to know what Lifeless Planet is trying to do, and I think I have an answer for you. It really wants to present a stark and basic world with a complex, mysterious problem, and that means leaving some of the gameplay inside the cupboard next to Mom's PMS stash of chocolate-covered raisins. But does it do it, and what do you get with Lifeless Planet? You get a fairly short game that presents itself in a way that can confuse you into thinking you have free will when in fact you don't. This is the equivalent of R. Lee Ermey making a game but somehow understanding music, atmosphere, and being able to string a story along without demanding you shit him out Tiffany cufflinks on command. It's a game rooted in platforming and basic puzzling that seems at times to be a bit lost as to what it wants to be. Be a puzzler and a platformer and tell a story, or just tell a story. It offers moments of unique atmosphere and beauty, but it does so at a somewhat high cost. So I rate games on a buy, wait for sale, rent, or jettison the game into a Lifeless Planet's orbit rating scale. At $19.99, this is a wait for sale. It's too short and has enough problems with its gameplay that frustration can mount quicker than the smell of a lasagna fart in an enclosed spacecraft. If this game was able to play itself, it would bring along an NDS to play something else. At $9.99, I would say it would be worth it to the Another World old crowd, perhaps, but right now it tells a tale that simply requires too much time to get done and offers too little gameplay to be worth it. So this is Karak from Angry Centaur Gaming. Thanks for watching and listening. If you liked the video, hit like. If you disliked it, hit dislike, but for God's sakes, be a bad parenting figure and hit one of them. If you can, spread the word. If you don't want to, then don't. So this is Karak to Mission Control. I bid you good day, sirs, and may your bitches go in peace.